It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Gino Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Gino Jones.
Hello, everybody. It's showtime. Yes. My name is Gino Jones. Okay, I guess you figured that out, right? You see the sign in the back. You see my name. We're like, we got a young man. We got you, brother. The Gino Jones Show. I come to you live Monday through Friday, every weekday. Well, every weekday. Of course, not the weekend. Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 5:30 p.m. Central Time, 3:30 p.m. on the West Coast, 7:30 a.m. in Tokyo, where earlier today, USA men's basketball represent. They put the smack down. They played who did they play? Watch the game. They played Australia. See, I had France on my mind because they are going to play France in the gold medal game on Friday. So I'm excited. I think did they say Friday? Sometime this weekend. I'm almost certain that they'll play Friday. But see, keep in mind, so Tokyo is 13 hours ahead of the East Coast. So if you live in New York, Tokyo is 13 hours ahead. If you live in Chicago, Tokyo is 14 hours ahead. And if you live in Los Angeles, Tokyo is 16 hours ahead. So, but USA basketball, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Jason Tatum, Drew Holiday, the whole team, Zach LaVine, repping the Chicago Bulls. Just they look great. So happy of them. USA women's basketball, they are balling. So they beat Australia. The men, they beat Australia. So they had exhibition games, and the Australian men's and women's national basketball team beat our men and women, our national basketball team. USA basketball, men and women lost. But so they were like, okay, look, that was an exhibition. All right. We was just kind of chilling. It's like a practice. But now we got that ace, that arse. We spanked that arse today. So shout out to USA basketball. Listen, dude, this is what we do. This is our game. I got it. It was actually invented by a Canadian, but it's our game. It was invented by a Canadian in Springfield, Massachusetts, here in America. So much for that. Please like, share, and subscribe to the Gino Jones channel. Like, share, subscribe. I'll copy and paste the link. You can copy the link and tag it and share it. You can screen grab some of the show and you can make it go viral. You can create a TikTok moment, a viral moment for TikTok. Just screen grab some of the show. Feel free to do that. You have my permission to help a brother promote his new show. And I'm excited for all of my new subscribers, all of my not so new subscribers, all of my subscribers and supporters. The show is growing so much every day. It is growing, and I can't thank you enough. The Gino Jones Show this week is brought to you by Designer Cuts. They are having a community day party. Yes, community day party. Shout out to the CEO, the master barber, the technician, the hair care specialist, the hair care technician, the instructor, Mr. Markel Bailey, who is the official barber and hairstylist for the Gino Jones Show, celebrating their 5th year anniversary, happening this weekend, Sunday. I'm going to be the host and MC. If you're in the Charleston, South Carolina area, come on out. 8440 Dorchester Road from 4 until 8 p.m. this Sunday. Now, the proceeds are going to go to buy school supplies for children and families in need. Those school supplies will be given away the following weekend. So we have the fundraiser anniversary celebration this Sunday. The following weekend, we'll take those proceeds and purchase school supplies, and we will give them to needy families and children. That's important. That's why I said it twice. I wanted to repeat it. Speaking of children, okay, here we go. Parents, listen to me. Parents, We have one job. One job. Now, I know you say we got a lot to love and nurture and motivate and discipline and inspire and listen to and teach and educate, but we have one. Parents, we really have one job, and that job is to protect our kids, period, full stop, from any and all threats, including a deadly virus. Now, parents, since we really only have that one job, that's our most, even more important, you could make an argument, than loving our children. Because if we can't protect them and keep them safe, we can't love them because they won't be around to love. So we got to get that right. We have to protect our children. Job one. Now, parents, listen. 72,000 children were tested positive. Those are just the confirmed cases that we know about. Here in America, from COVID-19, 1 week, this week, 72,000 children test positive for COVID-19. This Delta variant of the virus, of the COVID-19 virus, 72,000 in 1 week. It went from a number that was in the 30,000s to 72,000. Think about it, 72,000 children in 1 week. Now, parents, let me just say this to you, and I'm a parent. I'm a parent. My youngest daughter, Allie, she is going into her sophomore year in college. There's certain politicians and people, but these governors, and I'm just going to call them out. These governors, and it's just a fact. You can get mad if you want to, but I'm looking at states like Florida. All right? I'm looking at states like Missouri. I'm looking at states like Texas. These governors are going to get your children and our children. Because really, for me, when I see any child, I see my child in any child. So even a child that I don't know, my natural paternal instincts is to want to protect that child if I see or feel that child is in danger. Because I see my child in any child, irregardless of what they look like. And I would hope and pray that someone who was to see my child, even my adult children, because they both are adults. Allie's a young adult. I would hope that someone who would see them in imminent danger would do something to keep them safe. But these governors, like the governor in Florida, Ron, they call him Ron DeSantis, the governor in Missouri, Mr. Greg, I call him Governor Greg Asshole in Texas, with these mandates basically telling schools, no, you can't make it mandatory for students and teachers to wear masks. And if you do, we are going to defund you. We are going to take money from you that would normally go to the schools for whatever they need. So you would withhold money from schools. So in essence, you want to doubly hurt the children. So you want to take away money from those schools, money to go to help educate and feed and protect and keep those children safe. So you want to take away money from those children, because when you take away money from the school, you take away money from the children. But then you want to expose them, especially the ones under 12, because children under 12 can't get vaccinated in America yet. So you want to expose them to a deadly virus. And you don't want to require, because there are some teachers who are refusing to get vaccinated. So they could be what they call vectors, carriers. Teachers could shed the virus to the children, and you just have like a wildfire outbreak of COVID-19. This new deadly Delta variant spreading throughout classrooms and schools and communities, towns and cities. So no mask in the school at all. And if you make it mandatory, we're going to take money from you. Are you on some kind of death wish? When I see politicians, you need to understand that your job is you are a public servant. Your job is to serve the people, not to enrich yourself and to feed your ego. No, that is not what your job is for. Your job is to make people's lives better every day. That's your job. That's your one job, is to make sure everybody who's under your jurisdiction, governors, even people you did not vote for, your one job is to make their lives better. That means keep them safe and healthy and anything else they need to improve their everyday lives. That's the only damn job you really got. Not trying to run for president or whatever. That's your one job. But some of these governors, like the ones in Florida, Missouri, Texas, some of these other states, it's like they are on. So it's like they are the leader of some type of death cult, like a suicide cult. That's what it looks like. Now, some people may be watching and say, well, Gino, how could you say that? And how could you accuse them of that? Easy. How could I do it? Hell, how could they do it? I'm not accusing them of anything that they are not doing. It's still blind resume. Just any person. You are in charge of, you have jurisdiction over people, over schools. All right? There's a deadly virus spreading like wildfire. In this country, 72,000 children came down with COVID-19, tested positive. Those are just the ones that we know about, the ones that were tested. Not to mention the ones that we don't know about that could be walking around or running around with COVID-19 and we not even know. 72,000 tested positive in 1 week. So you have power and jurisdiction over these children and their parents and teachers in the schools. And you say, well, no, these masks, the government is trying to just take over some kind of communist control and just mind control and tell you what to do and take away your freedoms. No, they're trying to save your life. So you have some twisted ideology that looks like a death cult. So your ideology says, no, you can't protect these children or the teachers. You can't wear a mask. No mask mandate. And if you do, I'm going to take away money from you, schools, which means you're taking money away from the children. So you are exposing these children and teachers and other school workers. You are exposing them to a deadly virus. You're not making it mandatory that the adults who can get vaccinated. So you allow adults who don't want to get a vaccine to not get vaccinated, to become carriers of a deadly disease, of a deadly virus that is very easily spread, way more, like 100 times more easily spread, more contagious than the original version of COVID-19. So you don't want to make it mandatory that teachers and anyone that works in schools get vaccinated. So the adults can come in, shed the virus, especially to children under 12 who can't get vaccinated. So we don't protect the children under 12. Now, the hypocrisy is that Governor DeSantis, as they call him, in Florida, he doesn't have school-age children. So he can stand there and make a decision about millions of children whose lives he is putting at risk and not think second about it because of some twisted, sick ideology. But his children are not at risk because they're not school age. I wonder if he had children who were under 12 attending schools in Florida. I would love to see that decision. But you know what? He would know, and he would probably say, no, still, no mask mandate. Can't mandate that adults and children wear masks. Not at all. Because it's taking away their freedom. COVID-19 could take away their lives. But that's not important. So when I think about that, there was a guy, for those of you all who may be under 40, maybe under 35. So there was a guy, he was a religious leader. His name was Jim Jones. He started this church in like Northern California, like in the San Francisco, Oakland Bay Area. This was, like in the late 70s. I can't remember the exact year right now. I would say late 70s. I don't even think it was early 80s. Jim Jones. It became a cult. He supposedly was telling people, he wanted to improve their lives. And he preyed on a lot of people, lower income, those who were poor, lower income, didn't have a lot of education. And a lot of those people were black, brown people, I believe primarily Mexican Hispanics, in the California area. And they were whites. So he moved, basically, he got this following, his congregation, over 1,000 people, men, women, and children, families. Now this guy was twisted, so I'm not gonna make this monologue about Jim Jones. You can Google Jim Jones and Georgetown, Guyana. All right? Just Google the Jonestown Massacre, Jonestown, Guyana. So, not to mention that basically he required these poor families to give him, through the church, all of their money. They got rid of all of their worldly possessions and all their money. A lot of these families were on public assistance. All that little money, he was taking that money. But the worst thing, when a lot of the abuse and other issues that was because he was accused of, just improper sexual behavior with minors. This dude was sick. So, like I said, Google the Jonestown Massacre. So the federal government, there was a politician out of California, because there was some families that had complained. So he got a plane with a television crew from NBC News, and they flew to the capital of Guyana. So he flew to the capital. Then they drove way out like in the countryside, because Jonestown was way away from the capital city. It was literally, it was a jungle. So you had this town, village. It was like in the middle of like a jungle. And so when the U.S. government began to really seriously look at this guy, and basically this politician out of California was trying to get the U.S. government to basically come in and rescue these children and families who wanted to leave this cult, because that's what it was. It was a cult. And unfortunately, it turned out to be a death cult. So on the last day of the lives of nearly 1,000 people, many of them were children, including this cowardly ass Jim Jones. He had huge, like, tubs or vats of Kool-Aid that was filled with cyanide, grape Kool-Aid filled with cyanide. So this bastard had the parents have their children drink this poison Kool-Aid in these cups. But he had armed guards standing around. And if the parents didn't make the kids drink the Kool-Aid, or if the parents tried to escape, they were to shoot these families and shoot these people. So these poor, God, brainwashed people who were just hoping for a better life and got into this death cult, they were forced to kill their children. They gave them poison Kool-Aid, grape Kool-Aid laced with cyanide. Then they had to drink it themselves. And this dude is on a loudspeaker, on a public address system, telling them, yes, don't be afraid. Now, drink it, kids. It might be a little bitter. Now, drink. Sick, sadistic, evil, satanic, demonic dude. Nearly 1,000 people, men, women, and children, were murdered that day. I believe the year was 1977. The Jonestown Massacre. Google that. So why do I tell that story? Because when I think about that when I say, well, wait a minute. Now you have another leader, not a religious leader, but you have some religious leaders that are basically on the same ideology that some of these governors that I mentioned out of Florida, Texas, and Missouri have the same ideology. They're leaders of millions of people responsible for the health, well-being, and safety of millions of people, including millions of children. And you basically tell the schools that these children go to and tell the adults, no, you can't mandate that the students and the teachers and the employees in the school wear masks. No mask mandate. I want to see the children's face, and they won't be able to see each other's face and smile. I want to see them alive. Damn the smile. I want to see them alive. So once we suppress this virus, then I get to see them smile. And then their parents can see them smile. And they get to see their parents smile. So you have they pass laws saying, no, that you can't. I pass a law where you can't have mandates to protect and keep the children safe. Can't do it. No mask. And if you do, then we are going to withhold money from you. So bottom line is, so parents, we got to protect our kids. Please remember that. If politicians and preachers and other people in positions of power and leadership, if they don't get it, at the end of the day, it is up to us, to you and me as parents, to remember we only really got one damn job. And that job is to protect our kids by any means necessary. And I mean what I just said, and I said what I just mean. Protect our children by any means necessary. Take it any way you want to take it. I will protect my kids with my life. That is my one job, for sure, is to protect my daughters. And that is our job as parents. The one job, to protect our kids. Don't let these politicians, preachers, public officials, or anybody else, quote unquote, influencers, celebrities, or strangers, put your children's life or cause you to put your children's lives and your own lives in danger. Just remember that. We have parents, we got one job to protect our kids, period, full stop, and to protect our elderly parents. I'm going to close the show with a story I saw and heard about today, and it broke my heart. A story out of St. Louis. There was a brother, black guy. His name was Sam. We'll just say his name was Sam. I believe that's his name. Out of Missouri. I believe from St. Louis. And he told a story about how his mother had passed 6 hours ago. He tells this story earlier today. He told the story about how his mother had passed 6 or 7 hours earlier. And he tells the story about how his mother had a stroke 2 years ago, and he was, doing everything he could to help take care of his mother, and that his mother was elderly, I believe, right? She was 80 or near 80 or, early 80s. And so she had home health care workers that came to her home. Now, I'm very familiar with that because that sounds like my mother. My mother has home health care workers that come by her home. So one of the home health care workers came by his mother's home coughing and sneezing without a mask. This woman, who was a health care worker, a healthcare professional, came to one of her patients' home coughing and sneezing without a mask. So Sam then said two weeks later, his mother came down with COVID pneumonia, and she died this morning. And he was distraught, and he was in tears, and he talked about how, he said, man, I'm a 45-year-old grown-ass man, and I'm crying about my mother dying. There's nothing wrong with that, brother. Brother Sam, if anyone knows this brother, if that's his real name, out of St. Louis in Missouri, where you've got one of those death cult governors. Sam, it's nothing to be ashamed about. That's your mother. If you want to cry every minute on the minute, that's your mother. And whatever form that your grief takes, just let it be in a healthy way. So, man, if you have to cry until you are dehydrated and have to rehydrate, then you do that. Crying is really, that is a healthy form. Because you may not know, I don't know, Sam, you may know, you may not know, that when we suppress emotions like that, especially when we suppress tears, there's toxins that we retain in our body. When we cry and we allow those tears actually release toxins. That's a true story. You can do your own research, but it's true. But find out for yourself if you don't want to. I'm not a doctor. I'm not even trying to play one. But, I read and I know intelligent people that educate me, that help me make me look and sound intelligent. But I digress. So Sam, there's no shame. There's no shame in your tears. You don't have to explain it to anybody. You don't have to feel shame. There's no shame in your sadness and your tears. That was your mother. And she didn't have to die. And how dare a professional healthcare worker whose number one task is to protect their patients. What is the Hippocratic Oath? To do no harm. That is part of your professional oath as a healthcare worker. To do no harm. And you came by this man's mother's home, even if you didn't know you had COVID. But why take a chance if you're coughing and sneezing? If you were coughing and sneezing like this, In this woman's home, I would imagine you were coughing and sneezing like that before you got there. And being a nurse, being a healthcare professional, you didn't stop to think, maybe I shouldn't go to work. And if, worst case scenario, and if you had to go to work, what made you go to work and go into this woman's house, this elderly woman, near 80, at 80 or over 80, around 80 years old, who had recently had a stroke 2 years earlier? What possessed you to go into her home coughing and sneezing, even if you weren't coughing and sneezing? What possessed you to go into her home without a mask? What is wrong with us? Who are we as humans? Where is our humanity, our compassion and empathy and common damn sense? So, we have to protect our parents, our elderly parents, because that's another job that we got. I lift up in prayer anyone that lost any family member or anyone from COVID or from any disease, but especially from COVID, especially in cases like this that was just so unnecessary. I really do. Listen, guys. Look, nobody hates needles more than I do. I was more afraid of a needle than a gun. But I like life and I love living more than my love for life is greater than my fear of needles. It's just that simple. That's just the way to look at it. If it's needles that you're afraid of, ask yourself, is my love for life, or is my love for my mother or my grandmother or grandfather or my dad or my child or children who are under 12 or anyone? Is my love for them or myself greater than my fear of a needle or fear of what? I don't know what's in the vaccine. You got measles, mumps, rubella vaccines. You didn't know what was in them. You were told, as kids, we were told that measles, mumps, rubella, MMR, measles, mumps, rubella vaccines. Tetanus, diphtheria, tetanus shots. That's what they told us. But we didn't know. That's what they told us. We weren't doctors and scientists. They told us that. We got the vaccines. Get flu vaccines. They tell us it's a flu shot. We don't know that. We weren't there when they put the medicine in the vial. It could be water, but that's what they told us. We believe it. So if you get other vaccines to travel, if you've been in the military, you're required to get countless numbers of vaccines. And you don't know what's in them, but you're required to get them. Listen, and this is only going to get worse, because eventually, the longer more people go unvaccinated, because there's already a new variant out of, guess what state? Florida. There's a new variant in Florida. They haven't even given it a name yet. They haven't even given it a Greek alphabet or letter. Yes, there's a new variant that's out, been discovered, identified, haven't been given an official name yet, that has been spotted, of all places, in Florida. But when you got a governor like you have, DeSantis, and then what's going to happen is eventually one of those variants is going to outsmart the vaccines that we have now that are safe and effective. 99%. I'll just close by saying this. 99%. You can find this out yourself. It's easy to find it out. 99% of all the people that have died in America the last couple of months from COVID-19, 99% of those people they were unvaccinated. Somewhere over north of 95% of the people who are hospitalized right now, as you are watching me talk to you, 95% of those people who are in the hospital with COVID-19 right at this second are unvaccinated. It's math. It's science. It's common sense. It can save your life. It's called get a shot, get a COVID-19 shot. Athletes, professional athletes, some who say, well, I don't know what's in the vaccine. Man, you get shots with stuff like, there's a drug called Toradol. It's like a painkiller. It's like you could have a horrible injury, man. They shoot you up with, they say, shoot them up with something. It's called Toradol. They shoot them up with that Toradol, and all of a sudden you don't feel the pain. Now you can go out there and still really injure yourself worse, because when that pain stops, then it's a problem. But just get the vaccine. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless. And let me just say this. I'm on nobody's payroll. Pfizer's not paying me. Moderna's not paying me. Johnson & Johnson damn sure isn't paying me. The federal government's not paying me. So I'm on nobody's payroll. I want to save your life. I want to save the lives of people that you love, even people that you don't love, that you don't like. I want to save everybody's life. And my hope and prayer is that having this conversation and sharing this information, if it will just get one person to be like, all right, Gino, damn it, hell, to shut your ass up, I'm going to go ahead and get this vaccine. Good. Whatever it takes, like I said earlier, by any means necessary. If that's what it's going to take to get a vaccine that can save your life, or maybe your mom, or your dad, or your child, then it's worth it. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life as always. God bless each and every one of you. God, thank you for letting me do most of all, thank you for letting me do the Gino Jones Show as I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central, 3:30 p.m. on the West Coast. The Gino Jones Show brought to you this week by Designer Cuts, their community day party happening this Sunday here in the Charleston, South Carolina metro area, 8440 Dorchester Road at a venue called La Creme. Shout out to the owners of La Creme. It's going to be a wonderful celebration, 5th year anniversary, but it's a fundraiser, and the proceeds that will be collected from this event will go to purchase school supplies that will be given away the following weekend to children and families in needs. So please support this. As a matter of fact, Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Gino Jones Show, he's putting this on. He is the CEO and the owner of Designer Cuts, the master barber. You can check him out. You can get all the information. He's got a Cash App if you can't make it, but if you want to support this wonderful cause to help some needy families and children purchase school supplies, he's got a Cash App. He's got Cash App information. Just check him out on Instagram. Kelby Cutting Up. KELBECUTTINUP. KELBECUTTINUP on Instagram. Kelby Cutting Up. Also, you can find him on Facebook. He's got all the information that you would need. Markel Bailey. M-A-R, like red. K-E-L. Bailey. B-A-I-L-E-Y. Markel Bailey. Thanks to and shout out to Alexandria Jones, the official wardrobe stylist and consultant for the Gino Jones Show. She is a fashion design major, and she is a fashion designer attending Columbia College Chicago. You can check her out. Lexi_Nicole on Instagram. Lexi, L-E-X-I-E _ Nicole, N-I-C-O-L-E designs. Or Alexandria Jones, check out her page there too. She's also a top model, supermodel. You'll see for yourself. And Bruce Gage, also wardrobe stylist and consultant for the Gino Jones Show. Just do a Google search. I should say, let me correct myself. You can do a search on Instagram and Facebook. Bruce Gage. Bruce Gage, Gage. All right. Thank you, everybody. I love you. I really, really, really do. Mother, you know I love you more than life itself. Thank you to everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Please, once again, and spread the word. Help a brother out so I can build my network. I can build my viewers, build my viewership, increase my subscriber base, so brother can start collecting some checks from YouTube. Support a black business owner, support a black entrepreneur. All right, help a papaya, and I appreciate so many people are helping. So you can reach out to me, and if you like to advertise, if you would like to be a sponsor of the Gino Jones Show, I would be honored to have you. If you are looking for the ultimate pitch man to build your brand, your business, to help you sell and move your products, your goods, your services, guess what? I am the man for you because I am the king of pitchmen. Leave me a message right here on my YouTube channel or on Instagram, Gino Jones Show. That's how you spell it, Gino Jones Show. On Instagram, or just Gino Jones, Facebook, or Gino Jones Live, Live. Live is all caps. That is my public figure page on Facebook. All right, everybody, let me get out of here. All right, tomorrow, it'll be the weekend, Friday, as I call it, Friday. TGIF, Friday edition of the Gino Show jumps off at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central, 3:30 p.m. on the West Coast. Until then, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I really do, and I mean that. And one more thing before I go, as always, please be blessed.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Gino Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.